I think even you're right. Even for theater companies, most of the money comes from individual givers and not government grants or big money like the Irvine Foundation. Most come from people who give 25, 100 bucks here and there. Um, so I think that goes back to as an individual artist, if you have a product, right, a play or a performance or talent, um, making sure more and more people know about that work so that they can individually give to you as opposed to applying for that $5,000 grant
Mm-hmm.
that will get you something.
Well, sometimes it's about being strategic and diversifying your income. So instead of saying choosing one over the other, maybe do both, right?
Right,
So instead
right,
of just being a playwright, maybe you could also be a teacher for
right,
playwriting. Maybe you
right.
can be a tutor. Maybe you can be a copy editor. I mean, there's some not totally glamorous jobs out there that pay. So it's about being smart, saying like, okay, I've got this set of skills. How else can I turn this into money? Right? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's not going to be something totally obvious. It's not going to be just playwriting. It could, you got to think, well, I'm a writer. That's useful for all kinds of stuff, you know?
Right.
So we have to be smart about it.
So, so you would advise whoever you are, an individual artist, writer, or actor, brainstorm as to what your other assets are, your value that you can diversify and spread out and send out.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and then based on, let's say you come up with five, I can do five things. Where do you go from there? You send them out, you ask people, you put them on Facebook.
Well, the first that's a good question. I think in the beginning, you from your original five things that you might have, you're not going to know which one is going to be the most powerful. Eventually, you will find out because they always say that the market will dictate to you what it wants of you. So,
Right.
my initial advice would be to try all five things, and the best way might be to develop your track record because nobody knows you. So a good, easy way to develop your track record is to do work for free or for cheap. And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, you have a working professional history. Then you could start upping your price. I know a photographer who shot one guy, spent a whole day, spent countless hours editing the photos. That guy happened to be a real ham. And so he posted all the good pictures on Facebook, and everyone started clamoring, who shot your photos? Because I'd like to hire this person. And that would be an
Right.
example of doing something for free or for cheap, just to develop the track record, and then you could start pricing from there.
That's great because I think a lot of people are hesitant to do the free and the cheap for fear that it's not going to produce additional customers.
Well,
But
again, yeah, you have to be strategic, you know. So you got to think like this is a baby step to get to the next step. But if you only just do the baby steps, then of course you'll never get to the next step.
right. And it sounds like it has to be something visual.
It doesn't have to be visual because you at least have your resume. So
Right.
so as long as your resume reflects the work you've done, you know, no one's gonna. Very few people would ask how much did you charge for that gig, you know.
Uh-huh.
It just needs to be on there.
I think I'm applying for to transfer to UCLA,
Uh huh.
and I've been working on my personal statement, and I've been meeting with other classmates that are also going to be applying, and we're all so hesitant to believe our own hype about what we do and to put it down on paper that we actually do these things and that we're good at them. How can we change that? Why is it that we're so hesitant to kind of, for lack of a better word, pimp ourselves out there?
uh,
um, and really believe in what we're able to accomplish.
that has a lot to do with, again, identity issues. in my
Yeah.
opinion, and our identity as an artist,
Yeah.
because a lot of times artists are supposed to be discovered.
Right.
And again, that's part of the myth. But that myth hurts us, hugely hurts us, damages us tremendously. And I think the way I like to tell people about it is, if what you have to offer can make someone happy, can brighten their day, can make them look at the world in a different way, then it's not really about you. It's more about their experience with your work. So
Mhm.
always consider the benefit that your audience will have when they interact with your work,
Right.
rather than thinking that you're pimping yourself out. You're more saying, look, I think this thing might be interesting to you for these reasons, right? Then it's not really about putting yourself on a pedestal. It's about letting someone know that they can interact with your work. I mean, imagine a doctor who didn't want to advertise his or her services. We'd all, die from exploding appendixes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah. And I think there was a book I read a while ago called The Outliers.
Yes, which I
And
love.
and it was about what you were talking about, which was that these someone like Bill Gates didn't just come to be, but he was in an environment where he was able to stay overnight at his high school and practice writing code.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had not had that connection, who knows what would have happened with Microsoft, or
Right.
what other route it would have taken. But you're right. There is this myth that people are made. You pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more about the connections and how you promote your value.
Well, it's both. Again, it's not an either or. I feel like it's both. You know, it is about promoting your value. It is about connecting with people. And if you don't put your stuff out there, no one's gonna know you exist. And then, you don't. It's not just you that loses out, but the world does.
Exactly. Okay. On that note, I think you're right. I think we need to kind of create this pride with the arts so that we can continue to produce and promote and create.
Mm-hmm. And the easiest way to do that is to demonstrate the benefit that other people will have from the work.
From what you have to offer.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always about offering.
So, what's the next step?
The next step, oh my gosh, I don't know. There's so many next steps to take. I think, I say this a lot, but I really think of success as a momentum. So as long as I keep the momentum going, that would be the next step.
Okay, very cool.
Very cool. Thanks, Fanny.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad this worked finally. Yay.
Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.